Blog Talk Radio.
You are now listening to the Evolution Hour with hosts Rob Gauthier and George Spirakis. Hey everybody, this is the Rob and George Enlightenment Evolution Hour. This is Rob.
And this is George.
And we are here today on this beautiful Wednesday evening at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern. That's 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. And today is a very, very, very special day, as it is the guest day for the week. And can you let everyone know, brother, who we have with us today?
We have the wonderful Daniel Scranton, who will be channeling Ophelia, the beloved Ophelia. I just love her. I just do.
Oh, I know that's literally one of your favorites of all time, brother. I know Daniel's one of the greatest people you could ever know. We've had him on our show several times. In fact, he is officially the guest who's been on the Rob and George show, the most frequent out of all of our guests, with Brad and Johnson in second place, and he'll be coming on in a couple months as well. Next month, what we do, and I'll go through a couple things here for you that's coming up, and then we'll get right back to Daniel Scranton. Next month, this will be February. I believe it's the 19th. I'm looking at the calendar as we speak. Yes, February 19th, the third Wednesday of the month, we will have Helene Lipson. She does her own radio show in 5D radio, but she's also a psychic. She's also an intuitive. She's talked to some of the most interesting people that you could know, and she has a great amount of information about metaphysical things, about intuition, about psychic, about all of these things. Healing crystals. She's an amazing, bright, infinitely wonderful lady, and we will have her here on February 19th. And then the next month, let's make that March 19th. Exactly 1 month after Helene comes on, we will be having Brad Johnson join us. Wendy Kennedy has already accepted our offer to come on this year. We're going to set the date with her later, so we've got tons of great guests coming up. We're going to make sure, again, revamping of the Rob and George show makes it where we are going on the first Wednesday of every month. Treb will be here for 2 hours on the first Wednesday of each month to answer all of your guys' questions. The open forums will be available for Treb to talk to you guys and answer any question you've got. The third Wednesday or fourth, depending on if there's 3 or 4 weeks or 4 or 5 weeks in each month, will be our guest speaker. And this is one of those guest days. So we'll get back to Daniel too real quick. I just want to let you guys know that we love you guys so much. We appreciate all the support, all the connection that you guys have. And there's ways that you can contact us at the Rob and George Enlightenment Evolution Hour like page on Facebook. And there's also a Facebook group that we've got, the Off-Air Collective Consciousness of the Rob and George Show. And if you look on Facebook, that's called Friends of the Rob and George Show. You can contact us both there. You can also contact us at our email, therobandgeorgeshow@gmail.com. All one word, all small letters. Let us know if you guys got questions, comments, if you think that you'd like to hear a certain guest. Any of those things, just let us know. We're so excited to get your guys' feedback. That's why we're here. The other announcement is every month we broadcast this because we enjoy to. We love this, connecting outward to everyone, having guests on, the channelings that we do. We love to do all of that and share it with you guys to help raise the collective consciousness. But it also comes at a cost to broadcast it. Even though it's free for everyone to listen to, it comes to a cost to me and George as well. And we gladly pay that cost. And if you guys want to help with that cost and donate in your own gratitude or your own way, you can always do that at trebchanneling.com. You go to the donate key. It'll be the second button. Make sure you don't donate on the first button because that's Treb Channeling. And below that, it'll say the Rob and George Show. So if you guys feel like donating, please send a donation to that area. And you could also go to PayPal and type in the Rob and George Show at gmail.com. that's the email PayPal set up to. So if you guys enjoy that, go ahead and do that. Also, last event before we get to our special guest, next Thursday, 1 week from tomorrow, on the 30th, there's going to be a paid event that I am doing with Treb and Ardif. George is going to be there. He's going to be hanging out with all of us there. We're going to have lots of people there already. So if you guys want to do that, go to trebchanneling.com, go to the top of the page. You can find out all the information you want. It's going to be the Density Dimensions Masterclass Advanced Series with Ardif and Treb both there. So it'll be a wonderful event. trebchanneling.com. You can go there and check it out. And I don't think there's anything else, brother. Is there anything else you can think of?
No, you said it all. That was a mouthful.
It was, and I love doing it. So without further waiting, we are going to go to our awesome guest, one of the greatest guests in the history of guests in the history of the world, as are all of our wonderful guests, Daniel Scranton. Welcome to the show, the Rob and George Show. Thanks for coming.
Hello, gentlemen.
How are you, my friend Daniel?
Oh, I'm doing so great tonight. I'm so happy.
That's awesome.
You're always happy. That's the thing that we love about you. You're the one person that you can come to and say, hey, how you doing? And it's always great, and it's always genuine, and it's always excited and happy. I told everybody, and I tell them as much as I can, when you meet people who are in the metaphysical world, many of them, almost everyone you meet is very nice people, very great and happy.
Yeah.
But Daniel, He is special. He is just over exuding love. He is just over the top with excitement, and I love that. I love that about it.
Thank you. And I just want to say, after listening to your introduction there, that I'm very happy to hear that you're charging for your event with Treb. I think that's wonderful. You deserve to be paid for what you do, and I'm glad that you set a rate and are accepting more than just donations, but actually putting it out there that this is what you're charging, and I think that's wonderful.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate that. That's kind of the thing that I've always had a struggle with in my own balance.
I know. I just had a private session myself with a guy named John Jones. He's in Florida. And we talked about finances and we talked about spirituality and karma and all the different ways in which we look at spirituality and money and my stuff and Lana's stuff. And, it's something we're all attempting to find balance with because, we want to be spiritual, but we still live in a world where, bills come. So
that's right.
It's funny because someone who listens to the show all the time, she commented one time, every time you talk about donations being available for the Rob and George show, you can hear your voice start shaking, and I'm like, well, it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I totally get it. But it's part of the challenge that we're all facing in finding the balance between the physical and the non-physical dimensions, So
yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up too. It's very, very important. That's one thing I've worked on in my own thing. I know that everyone works on that in a certain way, and there are a lot of people who have that belief system that you just shouldn't do that with spiritual work and everything. And a friend knew I went through that struggle and sent me a video from Bashar, and I watched it. It was very healing, very great.
Yes. I saw that, and I've heard that before, and it's so true. It's so very true. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I know I've talked to George about this too a million times. When I first started, I only did free. And, a lot of people had to work with me just to get the donation thing. But I think, for the validity of...
Wow.
Oh, go ahead. I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
I was laughing at that. That you had a hard time even accepting donations.
Yeah. It's how it went.
Yeah.
That's actually right when I met George was during that change time. I was doing everything free. How long ago was that, brother?
Geez, that was must have been 2.5 years ago. I remember that was it was a struggle having to understand that, you're sharing this energy, and it's something that, it's a sharing of energies back and forth, the money energy and the spirituality.
Yeah.
But I think that as time goes on in this linear time, that there's a for people in this spiritual arena, that you must always remember that there's just a small percentage that is catching on right now, and that we have 98% maybe of the rest of the population that will awaken and really go after these services in a big way. So I think the future looks very bright in terms of the money energy for the work being given out, because it's something that's so special that, how could even, it's priceless. How could you even put a figure on it, So I think the idea of the dollar amount being given as a donation will expand as time goes on. It will only expand as time goes on for really anybody in this field that is looking to, you almost have to do it. Anybody that channels almost has to do it for a living, because it's following your excitement, and it's what you really love. So I think it's really a statement for the rest of society that we really should start moving in this direction where we're doing things that we really love, and everything will fall into place in the right way.
Yeah, I was going to originally be a psychotherapist. That was my career track. Back when I went to college at Boston University, I studied psychology. I freaking loved it. I worked in the field of mental health for 3 years, and I thought I would, go get a PhD someday or a master's or something, and work as a licensed psychotherapist, which is essentially what I do now anyway.
Yeah.
And
sure.
If I was working as a licensed psychotherapist, I doubt that I would have any problem whatsoever saying this is my rate and this is what I do, and I'm worthy of receiving this for what I'm doing. But because what I'm doing is somewhat spiritual in nature, that I had a challenge, and I'm still facing the challenge of mixing the two, So
right.
That's what it's
right.
about for me.
Sure. And we have to not forget that this the spirituality, this esoteric knowledge that all the channelers give, and so I think from this point forward, it's really going to be looked on as a means of, like you said, psychotherapy or psychiatry. It's You're actually talking to the person's higher self when you're doing these sessions, and you can't get all the guesswork is taken out of it. So really, I could see at some point in the near future where you're held in such a high degree that this won't even be an issue anymore. It's just that we can't forget that there's the rest of the population here that really has no idea of what this is. So I think that a lot of work has to be done on actually promoting channeling in a field other than this spirituality. It really needs to be taken into the medical field.
Yeah, it's healthcare for sure.
It is healthcare, and so that's a movement that is easily broadcast and taken on. But I'm sure there'll be some kickback with that. But it's proven itself is what it is, and there's really nothing better than this. So you guys are all the pioneers in this field, and it's you guys that are going to do the breaking through into the rest of the secular population that will understand this for what it is, instead of being looked at or perceived as some sort of ridicule or things of that nature. I mean,
well, speaking of broadening channeling and getting it out there more, I think that since the last time I spoke with you guys, that's when I started teaching channeling myself, and I've had quite a few clients. Quite a few people have signed up for it. I work one-on-one with people, so I know a lot of people were under the impression that when I said I was teaching channeling that there would be some sort of class, but I'm just doing it one-on-one because I like that format. I like working with people individually. It's easier for me, and I've been doing it for half of the rate that I channel for people for. So,
wow.
So for a full hour of my instruction as to how to become a channel, it's $75, and for a half hour, it's $40. And it's amazing how much we can accomplish in just a half an hour. I've had people channel on the very first lesson, and I've watched as my very first client has gone on to channel all this material. She's posting it all over the groups on Facebook and on YouTube, and she's doing wonderful work.
Oh, is that Allison?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love her. I've listened to all of that work so far. It's beautiful, unbelievable.
Yeah, that's been really fun. So
I had no idea that she was a client of yours.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that's not privileged information. Maybe it was. I'm sorry, Allison.
Oh.
I think that she has actually announced that in at least one group that she had a session and is now taking the ball and run with it. So.
Well, there are a lot of Allisons, too, on Facebook, so I'm sure that won't be too big of a deal.
No, I really don't think she would mind, but it's something for me to think about in the future that maybe people would want to have that sort of anonymity when it comes to having worked with me as a client. For that, that's different than working with a client when I'm channeling for them, but still. Yeah.
That's something, it's amazing you brought that up, too, because I'm trying to expand into services of my own. I am now doing not just donation sessions, but I'm going to start doing paid sessions, and I'm also still doing the free 15-minute sessions for people, because I understand there are people who have problems manifesting. So when they manifest, and they can't get that down because they don't really understand that basic law of attraction. Sometimes they need just a little encouragement to get going in the right way. And that's why, I thought that was, but it was amazing that you said teaching channeling, because that's something I'm very interested in doing. It's something I've considered doing. It's a very unique process, and no two people channel the same, but the way to learn to kind of connect to your higher self, that's all a universal thing. It's about excitement. And there's tons of techniques. That would be something I'd love to talk to you about off air, share techniques with each other and stuff, because all the knowledge you have, the better,
Actually, I had a session with Treb, and I asked Treb about my channeling, and he talked about doing some relaxation exercises. So what I've been doing ever since then is I've been doing them on myself. I just developed a relaxation exercise for myself when it comes to channeling the quotes every day. And that's something that I've used to inject in the channeling course. It's a big part of it. So, so I owe some of that to your buddy there.
That's the best thing about this kind of work. There are so many channelers out there that have so much information. Each one of these entities are pulling from source, but they're pulling from their own personal perspective. And that's why you could talk to 5 different channeled entities and get something useful about the same subject and different perspective from each of them and have this wonderful base to work with.
Yeah, it's all different perspectives, and all truths are true, and hopefully, people can release that need to solidify something in their minds about, this is how it is, or this is how it was, and there's only one way of looking at this thing, and it's very, the mind really wants that sort of static, solid, this is it, and this is something that we can duplicate in the laboratory, and things like that. That's the way our minds are trained to think, when in actuality there are so many different ways of looking at the exact same thing. And ultimately, like you say, if it's useful for you, if it sounds true, if it's something that you can work with, then go with it,
Sure. Daniel, one last question before we start get into some of the callers. On the West Coast there's many, many channelers. Do you find in that community that the same type of feeling with the money energy exists? Is that something that's talked about from time to time?
Well, yes, definitely. I have friends who are channelers who work professionally, and we do talk about it. So it's definitely a subject that comes up, and that everyone has their own unique journey through. And all we can do is keep plugging on and working through our stuff and doing the best that we can to transform our own energy when it comes to collecting money for what we do.
Right, because I think, and the reason why I speak about it is because I think shedding light onto this particular subject is really what's going to, really make it take off and be something that it needs to be. We're heading into this, this new world, this new reality that we're in right now, and unless we start talking about it and start, creating a value for this new type of information that creates the new belief systems that are in this 5D reality, it needs to be talked about. And I think when it's talked about is when it'll expand and really start getting into the rest of the population, because that there's people with questions. I mean, people do tarot cards. That there's a large segment of these different pieces of population that understand it and have an open mind towards that type of information, and it needs to start creeping out there into the real world where people can call you and call all channelers and ask them informations about whatever's going on with their body. I mean, take the physical aspect, take the mental aspect, and really expand on this thing and start documenting how this really affects you in a positive way. So I think that that's the first step, is really starting to talk about this, and we'll do our best here on the show to help everybody out there that does this type of work, because it really needs to be expanded now at this point.
Yeah.
Absolutely, brother.
I know we didn't talk about this before, before the show, but I just wanted to add something that I'm really excited about that's very new in my life, and that is that I've been connecting recently with the Hathors and have a very strong connection with them when I channel them. And these are beings that work with tone and sound, which I work with myself, and which, has been coming through me with my going into the channeling state with the creators and with Ophelia. And so I'm really excited to see where that connection goes, but I definitely feel that I will start channeling the Hathors publicly sooner than later, because what I do is I channel the quote of the day, and then I do this all in nature, and then I walk another half an hour through the woods, and then I stop again and I do some sort of freestyle channeling where I just open myself to any high-frequency beings. And lately the Hathors have been coming through, and I'm really excited about strengthening this connection. In fact, I have a really cool story about it, because the other night I experienced a synchronicity regarding the Hathors. It was after the second time that they had come through me, and I went back and I listened to the recording I made of the first time they came through me, and I thought, wow, this is really consistent, and I really feel like this is a group that I'm going to be working with. So I got home and I Googled them, and because I knew somebody was channeling them out there, and I thought perhaps it was many different people. And the main guy who's been channeling them for years is Tom Kenyon, and he's got a website and he's got YouTube videos, and I'm looking at them. And so later that night, I'm hanging out with Lana, and she's got Spotify on her phone, and she's looking through her Spotify playlists for Tom Kenyon. And we had not had this conversation about the Hathors or about Tom Kenyon. And so I heard her say his name, and that she was looking for a track that she had, that Spotify has of him, that I said, whoa, that's really funny, because I just was Googling the Hathors, and that's the guy who, has been channeling them for several years and has brought, this huge body of work. So that synchronicity really solidified also my intent to continue exploring this connection with the Hathors. And I really want to expand to include as many different high-frequency beings in my work as I can, because it's so much fun. It's so much fun to have more flavors to choose from in life. And obviously, as much as I love, I still absolutely love channeling the creators. And in fact, it's easier for me to channel the creators than it is to channel Ophelia. But in fact, Nora Harold and I were talking about that last night, about how it's easier to channel the higher frequencies than it is the ones in the fifth dimension or fourth density, or whatever you want to call it. So it's even though I love channeling the creators, and it's easier for me to channel the creators, the addition of Ophelia to my work has been such a blessing and so lovely, and I'm so happy to have her as part of not only my team of guides, but also just as a part of my everyday life, because she's just with me all the time.
Well, I have a question for you too, Daniel, real quick, about the Hathors. I was informed by someone, if their information is correct, these entities deal directly with sound and vibration, whether it be healing or connection or just sound and vibration altogether, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. The tones I make when I channel the creators are similar to some of the recordings I've heard Tom Kenyon has made of the Hathors. You know, he has them set to music, which is great because that's something that I've wanted to do for a while. I've really wanted to make music that would accompany my tones. And so I believe that's part of where this is headed with the Hathors. But they also, you know, come through verbally for me and channel in the same way that I channel Ophelia and the creators. So, yeah.
Well, that excitement
is definitely, yeah.
Well, that excitement, that's something that you've talked to me and George about before. You love that harmonic tuning, toning, vibration, overtoning. The sound is something that you love, so I'm thinking that excitement that comes from that is what helped you connect to them.
Yes, and what's really kind of funny about it is a lot of times when I do these free-form, freestyle channeling, I get tones before I get words, no matter who I'm channeling, whether it's Seth or Yeshua or Michael, whoever it is. But with the Hathors, the first time I got no tones, they just started talking. And I thought that was really funny because it's like the opposite of what you would expect for them, and not at all it's the opposite of my usual MO. So but now they're toning in a unique way when they before they come through. So yeah, it's making more sense to me, and I'm just really interested to see where it goes.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that too, Daniel. We love to hear all your stories. Just to hear you connecting to other entities is great. I know right now we have a laundry list of callers completely up and down the board, and thank you guys all for being patient as we listen to Daniel Scranton and reflections from him and what's going on in his life. I think all the subjects we touched on too are very important about the financial freedom that we all deserve and about how your reflections of excitement show up in manifestations of greater things like the vibrational Hathor. I think that's great. If you want to, Daniel, if you'd like to now, if you wouldn't mind to start doing connecting at this moment,
yeah.
We've got tons of people who are ready to talk to Ophelia.
Okay, great. Then
before we do that, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about? Any announcements, shows, any events?
Yes, now that we have everyone's attention. Tomorrow I'm doing a teleclass with Ophelia, which means you get an hour of time with Ophelia where you'll hear other people's questions and her answers, and you'll get to ask your own question. If you go to my website, danielscranton.com, you can easily find the teleclass menu, and it'll take you right to tomorrow's event where you can pay $15 by PayPal. And that gets you the recording of the event too, so we send out the recording and you have access to the recording right away.
That's beautiful.
So that's happening tomorrow, and it's 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern. Like I said, it will be 60-minute teleclass. So
awesome.
That's that.
Thank you, Daniel.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Everybody who's interested in Ophelia, check out his website. And where do they find your website at?
Well, it's danielscranton.com, and Daniel is spelled just like you would expect Daniel to be spelled, and Scranton is spelled just like and Scranton is spelled just like the city in Pennsylvania. So if you have any doubts at all about how to spell Scranton, it's the same as the location of the show, The Office, that was on NBC for several years, Scranton.
Right, and if there's any questions, they can contact the show here. We'd be happy to send them in that link.
Yes, and I will also say that I accept all friend requests on Facebook. So if you're looking for me on Facebook, I'm friends with Rob, I'm friends with George. It's easy for me to find me in their friends list, or if you want to look me up, I live in Ojai, California. That's Ojai. So.
Actually, that friend thing on Facebook, I just hit my 5,000 maximum friend list this week. How exciting, huh?
Awesome.
That's awesome. Wow.
Not bad.
That's really good.
That's not bad. Yeah, it was exciting for me. I know we've let the callers, they're being very patient by waiting, so yeah. I'll quit bugging you and quit messing with you about the Facebook number. Thank you very much, Daniel, for that. Also, everybody, danielscranton.com. Go there, check it out. The events are great. So please, if you love his work, support him. If you love his work, check it out. And thanks again, Daniel, for doing this show.
Sign up on my website for free daily downloads from Ophelia. Right now, I'm channeling Ophelia almost every day and posting them on the website, and those go out if you subscribe to the email list. So
beautiful.
And you can and there's a button at the bottom of those emails where you can click on it, and it takes you to the website where the quote is posted, and you can listen if you want to listen to it. So that's really, I know I like to listen to channeled stuff myself and, get the vibration and hear it, and then you can be like making your salad or your breakfast or whatever you're doing and listen to the channel information. So that's available to everyone too. And now, without further ado, Ophelia.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you, Dan.
Yeah. 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 I am here. I am with you. I am excited to share with all of you my wisdom, my perspective, and most of all, my energy. Because now that you are tuned to this vibration, you are receiving me. You are connected to me in a way that you can feel and that you can easily assimilate. I also understand that you would like to speak with me, and therefore I will hand over the control to Rob and George, and you may allow callers to ask their question, or if either of you would like to ask a question, I will certainly allow that.
Thank you so much, Ophelia. At first, I just want to say I love you, and I love your your channelings. They're so filled with love, and I just wanted to thank you so much for that.
You're so welcome.
Today, your last channel today, it was titled Your Story, and I had a question regarding the theme of that was more of how we are co-creating the thoughts of ourselves and the kind of imaging ourselves. And I had a question regarding how the importance of our past lives and the soulmates that come through our life to show us these different lessons and the importance of that.
Well, you will connect with those beings in this lifetime that you wanted to connect with. So really, the stories from those other incarnations are influencing how you will relate to that other in this lifetime. But by no means would I want you to believe that you have some sort of destiny with another person. You always get to rewrite your contract, renegotiate your contract, and you can be whatever you want to be with any other being. As soon as you begin to realize your power and to exercise your power over your own frequency, you can easily transform any relationship to be what is most pleasing to you. So yes, those other stories from those other incarnations are going to line you up with certain individuals. But now is the time for all of you to decide what type of relationship you want to have in this incarnation.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Ophelia.
Yeah.
All right, what we're going to do now is take a caller. And also, I want to say greetings also, Ophelia, and send my love to you as well. I'm going to skip my question for the time being so that we may get to a few callers. Right now, the very first caller will be from 772 area code. Who do we have with us this evening?
Hello?
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 772.
Yeah, go ahead with your question.
I would like to know how could I make my connection stronger with my higher self?
What I recommend that you do is you remember that you are your higher self, that you begin to ask yourself, how does my higher self see this situation? How would my higher self respond to this person? And to begin to access more of that higher self energy by simply taking it on as your perspective, by allowing yourself to see life and to see the circumstances of your life through those eyes, through the eyes that are already a part of your perspective. So all of you have experiences where you have operated as your higher self, and so you already know how to do it. But it is a process of getting out of the way. So in answer to your question, the process that I would recommend is to ask yourself one of those questions, such as, how does my higher self see this situation? And then to get quiet. Quiet your mind, quiet your emotions, quiet your physical form, and allow yourself to be that higher self perspective. Do not see it as something that is coming from outside of yourself that you then must reach up for and grab onto. It is something that already exists within you, and it is just a matter of your willingness to allow that perspective to dominate. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ophelia. And we appreciate the... I'm sorry, were you saying something?
Yes, I was saying yes. I was agreeing with you.
Very, very beautiful. Thank you very much, Ophelia, and thank you also, caller from the 772. We appreciate it very greatly. The next caller that we have will be coming from the 210 area code. 210. Who do we have with us this evening?
Yeah.
210? All right, we'll come back to the 210. The next caller we have in the queue, 951 area code. 951 area code. Who do we have with us this evening?
(951), are you there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 951. All right.
They might just be listening there. We'll go through if they don't answer yet.
Yes, absolutely, brother. You're absolutely correct. All right, we have a 937 area code. 937. Who do we have with us this evening?
Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Oh, well, hi. This is the first time I've ever been on this call. Let me see. What would a question? I didn't have a question ready. Ophelia, I have really been keeping myself in front of myself very much in the moment, aware of myself, and wanting to connect more. So it kind of goes hand in hand with what you just answered the previous question. One thing that has been suggested to me is to, I don't know if you're familiar with crystals, but to have hold like a lapis crystal and to write. But then, I go to do that just to kind of open up, and it just kind of goes blank. It's like, I don't know if I guess it's a trusting. I don't know if it's just me thinking or if it's just, and I'm writing, or if it's, does that make sense? I guess the trusting if I'm doing something, quote, right, or if the information is just imagination, or, So I guess it would go hand in hand with your previous question. I don't know if there's anything else that you could share with me to help.
No.
I don't know.
What I want to share with you is that the most important thing for you to do is to allow whatever experience you are having to be the experience that serves you the most. So if when you go to connect, you do not receive words, if you do not receive an impulse to write something, but all you do is get very quiet and go blank, then instead of analyzing or criticizing that experience, be fully in that experience of what is happening. Allow that to be the outcome that you were seeking. So, some of you are going to...
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, is it like you're saying no expectations on myself then?
Yeah, that is exactly what I was saying. If you remove your attachment to hearing a voice, speaking a voice, or having something profound written on the page in front of you, and instead you simply make your intention to connect, then whatever connection you make, whatever experience you have, can be a fulfilling and a very wonderful experience for you, but it must be allowed in the sense that you are not reaching for something other than what you are getting. And if you stay with the experience that you are getting, then eventually it will transform, you will transform, and the connection will transform.
Great information.
Yes. Hello. Hello.
Yes, Ophelia?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to go to our next caller, which is area code 352. Are you there?
Hello.
Yes, hello, 352.
This is me, Savita.
Hi, Savita. How are you?
I am good. How you guys are?
Great. Great. Do you have a question for Ophelia?
I was just listening to the program, but I will ask the question. Hi, Ophelia.
Hello.
Ophelia, my name is Sylvia. Tell me what you can tell me about myself. Any message you have for me or anything you want, my higher self wants to talk to me or something, or you have something for me?
Yeah. Your higher self wants you to connect more with the earth, to touch the earth more, to allow those earth energies to come up and enter your physical body so that you can feel more grounded and more connected to this physical experience that you're having.
So, I feel I want to have more spiritual experience because per se as being human, like other humans, they have spiritual experiences, I never had any per se. So I want to have spiritual experience. I mean, what you're saying is opposite, you know. You are telling me to be more grounded part. Yes, my heart tells me that I need to be more grounded, but you are telling me to have more human experience, but my desire is opposite.
What I am telling you is that from the grounded state of being that you achieve, you will then be able to bring in more of those higher frequency states from the higher realms, and you will have more spiritual experiences. What you are doing here at this time is a merging of worlds. You are merging the physical world with the higher frequency energies, and you are grounding and rooting those energies through your bodies. So what I am giving you here is the key to what you are seeking, even though it may seem like it is the opposite.
What? Hello?
Yes.
Yes. Another fast question. What do you think would be my highest excitement which serve others too? Do you have any suggestion for me, please?
First of all, following your highest excitement.
I do not know. What is my highest excitement?
Yes. Your highest excitement is not something that you do every day for a certain number of hours every day. Your highest excitement comes to you in the moment. And if you follow each impulse from each now moment, you will string together a wave of excitement, a wave of that high frequency energy. And that may begin to look like you are weaving a tapestry. And that may begin to look like it has a theme, or you have some sort of bigger purpose. But first you must start with the minute, with the day-to-day, and with the moment-to-moment impulses that you get towards something. So, for example, your highest excitement was obviously to tune into this radio show this evening, and you did so. When this show has concluded, what I am suggesting that you do is that you sit with yourself, you get quiet, and you ask yourself, what is my highest excitement right now? What is the thing that I really want to do? Not the thing that I think I should do, but what is it that I really want to do? And if you allow yourself to follow that impulse, you will find that other excitements present themselves to you. You will find that it is easier to listen and easier to hear what your next highest excitement is in every moment. But it is not something that you need to figure out and then do forevermore, you see.
Well, thank you, Ophelia, for that. That was wonderfully put, and thank you, Sister Savita, also, for calling in. We appreciate the call. We'll take the next caller at area code 248. 248, who do we have with us this evening?
Rob. Hello, George. It's Phil Malika. How are you tonight?
Phil, how are you, my friend? Good.
Wonderful, wonderful. And my beloved Ophelia, how are you this evening?
Hello, Philip. I am doing perfectly well. Thank you.
And I want to take a moment and thank you guys for your wonderful show. We sure love it. And love all your posts, Rob. That was a great interview or session that you posted a few days ago. And Ophelia, we love your posts, and Daniel, love your posts every day in the Consciousness group on Facebook. Thank you so much. You help so many people in so many ways. It's just inconceivable how this ripples out from what the work that you folks are doing.
Absolutely.
That is very gratifying to hear.
Ophelia, the one thing that I did want to ask you about, maybe that you could go into more detail about, is that I have heard that because we're bringing so much energy through us as we're making these connections to our higher selves and to some of the other energies, and the idea of grounding yourself, and of course, everyone says, oh, you got to ground yourself, but it's so important now because that completes the circuit, and that allows the energy to flow through us. Maybe you can speak some more on that for us.
Well, it is as I was just saying, that what you're really doing here now is not ascending to the point where you leave your bodies or you leave the physical behind and move on to a non-physical or a markedly different experience of reality. You are allowing higher frequency energies in to the physical structures that you now have. That energy will then transform you, and it will transform your world. But in order for you to do that, you must stay focused in the world that you are in. And you must be willing to be in your bodies to feel those energetic shifts, because if you do not have that grounding of self in the physical body, you will be unable to discern the new frequencies. You will be unable to tell when you are accessing them, because you will not have the vehicle to feel them within. So I will promise and assure all of you that the experience of grounding higher frequencies into the physical, into the body that you now have, is the most pleasurable experience that you can possibly have as a human being operating where you are in density.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you too,
Beautifully
Philip.
set up,
go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Philip, too, and we appreciate, too, all the love and support we get from you guys for doing the show. This is honestly me and George's greatest excitement to do this show, and I know Daniel's also very excited about his work that he does. So thank you, too, brother, for
thank you, Philip.
All right, now, the next guest that we have will be from the 805 area code. Who do we have with us this evening?
Hi, this is McKinley.
Hi, McKinley.
Hi. Ophelia, I have a question about a dream experience that I had last night, and I haven't had one like this in quite a long time, and it begins with me understanding I'm having a lucid dream, and then I usually choose to fly, and then I'm in the space that I either live in or I am sleeping in. It always seems very familiar, but there's something off. And when I figure out that something's off, I know I'm dreaming. So then I direct it. Well, I directed the first part, and then the second part, I was sitting with a couple of people that I am acquainted with, and they were having a hard time. I held space for them, and then I watched them seemingly embody other entities that I guess maybe they share DNA with that's off planet.
Yeah.
And then my experience was not as positive. It was a little dark, and I was palm to palm with each of them, and then they turned into something, again, didn't feel good. A couple of seemingly female entities. The messages they gave me in word form were quite positive and loving, but the energy felt very strange, and I kept telling myself, don't be afraid. We're all also sharing genetic structure with other entities that we're unfamiliar with. I was telling myself not to be afraid, but it was quite a strange, scary experience. And can you speak about this?
Yeah. Yes. What I would like to do first is to congratulate you for having had the experience that you had and for wanting to be of service in the way that you did. That was part of what you were there to experience, was your ability to see yourself as a healer, as one who holds space, and as a guide to others. And you are very much practicing that now in this dream state that you have experienced. But when it comes to the other experiences that you had during the dream, I will say that you were showing yourself that what a person is saying is not always in alignment with what it is that they are vibrating. What they are offering is not always a match. And this was your way of showing yourself that you must trust what you are feeling. And no matter what the person looks like, no matter what the person says, you must be willing to trust what it is that you are feeling in that moment, and to let that be the primary guidance that you are using in your discernment of what it is that they are offering. And you can do this without any need to push the others away. You can do this without any need or desire to judge. You can do it simply as a way of demonstrating to yourself the discernment that you have and the discernment that you can use regardless of how something looks or sounds to you. So that was a wonderful demonstration that you gave yourself. Again, I congratulate you.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Ophelia. And thank you also for giving us a call today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, McKinley.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. The next caller that we have will be, I believe we already took the 858, didn't we?
No, we didn't do the 858.
All right. 858. Who do we have with us this evening?
Is it me?
Yep,
yes.
it's you.
Lori? Hi, Ophelia. Hi, Robin George. Thank you so much. I'm shocked I got on. I appreciate everything that you're doing. I had similar questions to some of the other people, and also praise for all that you're doing. I, too, want to connect to my higher self and find my path. I'm very drawn towards healing and the reconnection. I read the book, and I've trained in some Reiki, various types of Reiki, but I don't have the, confidence but I'm very much drawn towards the reconnection. And can you tell me anything about that and if it fits into my life and my path?
Yes, indeed. The fact that you are noticing that you feel attracted to this modality gives you everything that you need to know at this time about it. In other words, you would not have the impulse to further explore the reconnective therapy if they were not in alignment with your greatest and highest good. So the fact that you are new to it does not mean that you are not able to do everything that someone who has been practicing for several years is able to do. It simply means that you have your own personal journey that you want to take yourself on that will illuminate for you everything that you need to know about yourself. So getting involved in this sort of light work will ultimately bring you face to face with some of your darkness, some of your stored traumas, and everything that you need to know about yourself in order to raise your frequency and let go of your judgments and become the person that you want to be. So if you do not feel confident enough to start telling everyone that this is what you do and this is what you want to charge for it, then my recommendation is to start out by saying to people in your life that you know and that you love that you have begun this journey and that you would love to practice what you know and to give of your service freely at this time while you continue down that journey that this work will certainly take you on. So I do recommend continuing your fascination and your action steps with the reconnective therapy. Do so with your eyes wide open regarding what will come up for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ophelia, very much for that. And also thank you, caller, for calling in and joining the Robin George Show to connect to Ophelia. The next caller that we have will be on a Skype phone. This is a 111 area code, which indicates that you're using Skype. Who do we have with us this evening?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, are you there?
Yeah.
All right. We'll move to the next caller then. 503 area code. Who do we have with us this evening?
Hey, guys. It's Aaron. How are you guys doing?
Hey, Aaron. How are you?
Hey, Aaron. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing great, guys. I just wanted to take a moment and say thank you so much for all the channelings you've been doing with Daniel Scranton for, I believe, at least the past month. Been checking them out every day, and I'm really, really happy you guys do it for free because I don't know, it just speaks high volumes, and it honestly makes my day. So I just want to go ahead and thank you for that.
Yeah.
Great. I guess I had just a question, and I feel funny asking this one because it's kind of hard for me to conceptualize and translate into English words fully on what exactly I'm trying to say, but here it goes. What I'm curious about is that I notice after I come across a new realization or a new understanding, within the next day or two, I will see on, let's say, I don't know if Daniel Scranton would be aware of this, or I know Rob would be. There's a site called Spirit Journey that basically posts news and stuff like that about soul development and things about connecting to your higher self. And there's been even cases of you too. And what the scenario is that after having these new understandings or these new ways to look at life, I will see stories of exactly what that realization was appear on these sites 2 days, maybe 3 days, sometimes even the very next day. And it almost gives me the sensation that it's not so much that they came up, like the timing is a coincidence, but more so that it has entered because it has entered me. But that kind of makes me feel a little funny trying to think of it that way, because then that means that everything is happening, like the world revolves around me a bit, if that makes any sense.
Well, it is.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
This is what happens when your minds get involved, when you need to understand what is happening rather than just experiencing what is happening. But I understand the desire for you to know and the desire for you to make sense of something like this. So I will tell you that what is really happening is a convergence. Vibrations find like vibrations. And this happens all over your world. So, of course, when you are on the frequency of something, in your own understanding, in your own revelation time, you are also on the vibration, on that frequency, in the larger scope of your world. And of course, you realize that there is not just one world or one version of reality for you to experience. So you, being on that frequency wave, when you have the revelation, are drawing in the version of reality that confirms for you what you have been able to realize, and also matches the frequency of your big aha moment. So this is a very natural thing for all of you to experience, and I welcome you all to share your experiences like this with one another, to show each other how common these synchronicities are in your lives. And by noticing them and by cataloging them and talking about them, you will attract more of them. And your life will become one gigantic synchronicity.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Very beautiful. Thank you, Ophelia.
Yeah.
The next caller, I believe, is a 903 area code. Who do we have with us this evening?
No, that was...
hey, Rob and George. It's me, Taylor. How are y'all?
Hey, Taylor. How you doing, bud?
Hey, Taylor.
Hey, I'm good. I'm doing great. Hey, Ophelia. How are you doing?
I am wonderful. Thank you.
Great. My question was, the other week I had an experience. I wasn't sure if it was a dream or an astral projection, but I was laying in bed, and I was just kind of being with my breath, and all of a sudden I remember seeing the rainbow, and after that I remember looking into what looked like the sun, and then I was flying over this river and cliff, and I was wondering if that was some kind of message from or my higher self, or was it just a dream I created?
Well, the message is do more of that. So, of course, when you have an experience like that, that feels good, you want more of that kind of experience. And the state of being that you put yourself in that gave you that experience is one that your higher self was giving you permission to access more of. It was an astral projection. It is something that you are capable of doing. It is something that you all do. But when you consciously take time to put yourself in a state of being that allows for that type of experience, you are not only furthering your expansion and your evolution, but you are giving yourself a wonderful experience that you can then tell others about, that you can then remember, and that you can then give yourself over and over just for fun, just for the ride and for the exhilaration that you get when you are able to remember experiences like that. Because you are all having experiences like that while you are asleep. But if you can remember an experience like that, and if you can access an experience like that while you are awake, then you have found yourself a roadmap to go back to that type of experience. And it is a gift to give yourself over and over again.
Beautiful, Ophelia. Thank you very much. Thank you, Taylor, for the call also.
Yes, thank you, Taylor.
We've got about 5 minutes, brother. I don't know if that's enough time to do another question or not. What do you think?
No, we might be cutting it a little short, brother.
All right. Is there anything, Ophelia, that you'd like to say before we disconnect?
I would like to say that we will not disconnect.
Oh,
we will
beautiful.
Be connected. Yes, we will continue to be connected after the show is through, and that I will continue to sprinkle fairy dust on all of you for the days and weeks to come. And I thank you all for this opportunity to be with you and to share with you and to explore with you. It is my joy to bring my message and my energy. And I thank you and I love you.
We love you too, Ophelia. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time, effort, and answering of questions to every person. And we also like to thank Daniel, too, for being our guest. Always a great guest, a great guy. If you guys are interested in checking out more of Ophelia, the creators, or maybe the Hathors coming soon, go to danielscranton.com. Go to Facebook, look him up, Daniel Scranton in Ojai, California. He's there. Always sending out Ophelia messages on Facebook every day. We thank you so much, Daniel and Ophelia, for coming on the show today and being our guest so much.
Thanks, guys. I'm back. Thank you.
I figured you were. I kind of saw the shift, so I figured we'd jump right in. We only have a couple minutes left. Is there anything you want to say to Daniel real quick before we're done?
I appreciate so much the opportunity to come on the show, and I'm just blown away by all the callers. So it's a wonderful opportunity for me, and I appreciate it, guys. So thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. It's really, Ophelia is just, wow. I mean, that's what the world needs now, is that type of love. So it's really doing such a service to humanity, and I can't say enough about it. Ophelia is just the best.
Thanks, guys. Yeah.
For being on the show. And I'm sure interest to come back here is always have you back on. We love you. The Rob and George Show family. We just absolutely all of it put together. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. We'll talk to you very soon, Daniel. And for the rest of you,
Thank you, Daniel.
Bud.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night, Daniel.
Oh, and for the rest of you guys, again, DanielScranton.com. You go there. Great guy. Great information. Also, I was made aware through Facebook, as I often go to the Facebook while we're doing the shows to keep in touch with people. They're informing me of technical difficulties, things of that nature. There was an issue with the PayPal link for donations. That's fixed. So if you go to Rob Gauthier on my Facebook site, the link's now fixed in the newest description. So any of you who'd like to donate for the show that helps keep us running and from taking it out of pocket to do it, that would be very great. Just go to Rob Gauthier, or you go to TrebChanneling.com, the second button down. That's the Rob and George Show. We love you guys so much. We love doing this every week. We're going to keep bringing guests in. We're going to keep bringing Treb in. We're going to keep connecting out to you guys. Anything you guys want to hear, we want to know about. Your input is most valuable out of anything. We want to make sure that you guys are, A, learning new things all the time, B, reminding yourself of the things you need to be reminded in the moment, C, having synchronicities to be able to connect out with other people who are in similar situations. That's why we started the Facebook group, so that you guys can go out there and connect. If you don't have people in your life who have this spiritual material importance within them, it's a very great tool to use. Is there anything, brother, you want to cover before we shut her down for the evening?
I just want to say thank you so much to our callers again. That's why we're here. We're here for you. We're here to help the collective and help expand our consciousness all together. So thank you so much. Just a wonderful, great show, brother. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, brother. And everyone who has called in, Philip Malika, one of our great listeners all the time, a fellow Michigander. I love you very much, bud, and I really appreciate every time you guys call in and you tell us thank you for doing the show. It really, really helps us be happy about everything that we're going. We know that we're doing our job, because this is our job, coming to the show to help expand consciousness, to raise the collective vibration, and that's what we're going to keep doing every Wednesday night. Rain, sun, show or shine, snow or shine. I'm tongue-tied. It's done. It's 10:30. We love you guys so much. Come here Wednesday, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific. This is the Rob and George Show. This is Rob.
And this is George.
And we love you guys. We'll see you next week.
Love y'all.
Woo!